Lovely. Welcome, everybody. Lovely to see you all this evening, and welcome to everybody watching online as well. Welcome to our service. So very lucky this evening. We've been joined by two lovely mediums, Wendy Muslin and Katie Goulding. So welcome to both of you. And we've also got two mediums online as well. Let me just scroll down. Yep, I can see Claire and Thor waiting in the wings for you online as well. So they'll join us a little bit later on. But the first thing that we will do, as always, we'll just open the service in prayer. And this will be followed by the Lord's Prayer that we'll all say together. So I will hand over to Katie to open the service for us. Thank you. Please will join me in gaining your quiet space. Divine Spirit, thank you for bringing us all here this evening. I ask that our spirit guides, doorkeepers, and everyone's loved ones here this evening come and join us.
and allow me and Wendy to work together and be a clear channel to be able to communicate the messages and evidence here this evening. And as always, I ask that me and Wendy work in love, light and laughter. Amen.
Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Lovely. Thank you very much. So I would just light the church candle now then, and as we do this, we just think about that beautiful Christ light, and we ask that to enter each of us, make us feel stronger, happier and more energised as we go into the healing part of the service. So a few new faces in tonight. So just a reminder to everybody that's here that healing really is just a loving intention, a loving thought, a healing prayer, if you like, for those that are feeling a bit under the weather. And all of us are capable of sending healing out. We're all capable of channeling that energy. So if we think of our loved ones or a situation that you want to send healing to as well, you can do that. So we spend a bit of time every week. We read the names from our church healing book here and any names that we put online. And then there is a little bit of space for you to focus on loved ones known to you that you think might benefit from the energy that we send out tonight. But we do this as a group, as a collective, everybody watching online, everybody in church. All you need to do is take that lovely deep breath, try and clear your mind of any of the stress that you've been holding on to, and just focus on love. It really is as simple as that. So we'll do that together now. So just ask you to take that lovely deep breath and just focus on the word love, if that's what you like to do. Think of your loved ones surrounded with warm, golden energy that will make them feel better. And I'll read the names. So if you haven't already done so online, please put your names into the comment box now. So tonight we focus that healing energy. We focus our love on Darren, Claire, Derrin, Talia, Alfie, Andrea, Tanya, Linda, Anne, Lorraine, Sean, Kevin, Lee, Jim, Kath, Kiri, Wendy, Francis, Veronica and Joan, Cyril, Colin, Terry, Maggie and Dougie, Maxie, David, John, Lucy, Jill, Linda Weeks, Donna, Grandad Frank, Jenny W, Jennifer S, Chris, Gary, Steve, Martin, Billy, Dennis, Mark, Peggy, Shirley, Eve and Peter, Richard, Christos, Maria, Kerry and family, Lincoln, Jade, Ron, Bonnie, Heather and Richard, Rich, Bethany, Amelia, Ken, Alison, Karen, Lauren and family, Valerie, Brenda, Sandra, Barb and Pete, Brian, Les and family, Colleen, Sibian, Sharon, Colin, Dave, Wendy, Lulu, Carol, Minnie, Megan, Kate, Wendy, Kelly, Annabelle and Bobby, Viv and Alan and Lisa Troke, Dee's mum, May, David Hunt and family, Bill, Pauline, Christy, Karen Gibbons, Jeffrey, Victoria and Karen's cats, Mick for progression, Corinna, and of course anyone that you think of in your minds now. As we go into the healing prayer and we ask, Heavenly Father, we ask that you shine your loving light upon us now, filling our hearts with your love, so that we may feel your peace within and shine through that healing energy out to all of those in need tonight. We ask for it to surround all of those that we've named this evening and all of those in healing books elsewhere, those that we think of privately in our minds now. We pray that they feel that energy working for them, that they feel stronger, happier, at ease. We just ask that they get what they need this moment in time. We ask also that any extra energy that we've created as a group tonight, we ask that it be sent to those around the world in most need. We ask for suffering to end, for our world to come together in love and in peace. We ask all of this in the name of our greatest healer, your loving Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
So just sit and send just for a minute silence. This will be broken by us singing Gracious Spirit. It is in the front of your healing books. Thank you so much.
Precious Spirit, may thy presence shed a healing ray, turning all the nights of darkness into glorious day. Loving Father, hear us, hear us. Precious Spirit, shouldst thou claim them, be their light and guide. Lead them to the heavenly kingdom, safely by thy side. Loving Father, hear us, hear us.
Lovely, thank you everybody. We'll just quickly share something though, the power of healing. I'm sure lots of you have got stories like this, but just a little small one happened this week. We're running a spiritual healing course at the moment, so we've got some healers in training as part of the church. We meet most Thursday evenings, and this week one of our members couldn't come. She had a toothache. She'd had a tooth out, and had been aching all day long. She says, I really don't feel up to it. So we sent her distant healing, as we do at the end of each group, as we do every Sunday. So the same principle. We read her name out and sent. And she messaged me in the morning and she said, did you send me healing last night? Because literally at the time that you'd normally send it, my toothache just stopped. It stopped dead and it just completely lifted. And usually with a toothache, it's like a slow, it just gets less and less and less, but it stopped instantly. So I just thought that I'd share that. A small case, but, you know, we do believe in the power of it. Okay, right, so I'll hand over to Peter now for this evening's Bible reading. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you. No bleep.
No blooper today.
Evening, ladies. Evening, all. Welcome to those online. This evening's reading is Jesus feeds the 4,000. And there's a lot in this reading about spiritual numbers. The story of Jesus feeding the 4,000 is also in Mark 8. We also have from John chapter 6, when Jesus feeds the 5,000. It seems to me that these numbers 4 and 5, also their sum of 9, are sacred figures relevant to us, the people, our planet, and its maintenance. It also occurred to me recently when I went for my vaccinations, we were gathered together, the elderly, the disabled, all waiting our turn. The weather was cold and wet, but there was a quietness among the people, calm and quiet, waiting. It could have been similar to the gathering around Jesus. I believe in all such gatherings, Jesus is there, perhaps not as a person as in the Bible, but within us all. As we know, Jesus Christ is both human and divine, and in all our quiet times, in groups or on our own, he is always there. There are many places in the Bible where he demonstrates this. But this evening I draw your attention to where he feeds the crowd. In all the readings, it is very specific about the bread and the fish and the numbers. It explains what Jesus Christ is giving out to the people. The bread of life, as spiritual food, the building of the substance for the body. You'll note in the reading, these people contained many disabilities, and they were very hungry for this Christ's spiritual food and stayed with him there on the hills for 3 days. The high ground being significant in spiritual truths. The fish being significant to Jesus when he chose his disciples from fishermen, calling them fishers of men. Also, the miracle of fish, 153. I've spent many years trying to work out why 153 and not 154 or 160. But I do understand that 153 does join up to 9 added together, and it is divided by 9. And so it is very specific, and it will definitely have a meaning. The reading, April, and of course, the miracle of healing, as in tonight's reading. Neighbours were mentioned quite often in the Bible, specifically placing them, giving them additional language to the reading. Numbers are the language of the building blocks and are in all things, like the 7 rays specific to healing. A further discussion on numbers is too far for the time available in tonight. So I carry on with the reading. Jesus feeds the 4,000 from Matthew 15. Jesus left there and went along the Sea of Galilee. Then he went up on the mountainside and sat down. Great crowds came to him, bringing him the lame, the blind, the crippled, the mute, and many others, and laid them at his feet, and he healed them. The people were amazed when they saw the mute speaking, the crippled made well, the lame walking, and the blind seeing. And they praised God of Israel. Jesus called his disciples to him and said, I have compassion on these people. They have already been with me here 3 days and have had nothing to eat. I do not want to send them away hungry, or they may collapse on the way. His disciples answered, where could we get enough bread at this remote place to feed such a crowd? How many loaves do you have? Jesus asked. 7, they replied, and a few small fish. He told the crowd to sit down on the ground. Then he took the 7 loaves and the fish, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to them. And he said to the disciples, go and feed the people. They all ate and were satisfied. Afterwards, the disciples picked up 7 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. The number of those who ate was 4,000 men, besides women and children. After Jesus sent the crowd away, he got into the boat and went to visit Magadan. God bless that reading, and thank you.
You can be on your way. Thank you, Peter. Lovely reading. Okay, so we will say goodbye to everybody watching online from here in the church. Over to Claire and Thor. Have a lovely evening. Much love. Goodbye.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Thank you very much for joining Thor and I here this evening. And this is our first time here in 2025. So we hope that you've had a lovely Christmas and a good New Year and having a good start to 2025 so far. I'm going to hand over to Thor to do a short address in a moment. I do apologise to you all if you haven't seen us working before. We do have a small Boston Terrier that likes to make some noise in the background. So if you hear some snoring or snorting, it's just the dog. So I do apologise. Okay. So
I think she's providing you with an example
she's
now.
giving us some entertainment now.
Yes, so, okay, right. Well, basically, I'd like to give my address this evening on the word opportunities. And it came to me today, basically, that I think it's very important that we take opportunities when they present themselves. The first thing I would say is if you were to mention the word opportunist, most of us would actually think of something as an opportunist in a negative way, someone who takes advantage of others. Not necessarily. An opportunist is someone who takes an opportunity. Now, opportunity can be for the good of themselves, for the good of others. And I think we should all, I don't necessarily think we all take the opportunities that we should. Day in, day out, opportunities present themselves. And it's important that we grasp those with both hands. And opportunities, as I say, to help ourselves, opportunities open for us, open doors, come forward for us, and that we sometimes will look at those and we think, oh, I'm not going to step through that door, I'm not going to take that, I'm not going to move forward to that, just in case. Well, it's important that we do push ourselves forward, push ourselves that little bit further, and take ourselves forward in life. And on that basis, yes, we should take those opportunities. The other way we should take opportunities is opportunities to help others, not just with, if you like, within their day-to-day lives, actually, providing for people, helping people, but whilst we're on the road, for example, someone in the as you're walking through town, walking down the street, take the opportunity to give someone a little smile. It will make their day. Take the opportunities to Open a door for somebody. Be courteous. Take time back from trying to get from A to B and trying to get what we want in life to actually help others have that little bit nicer day, a much, take the opportunity to provide to others and heal others, help others, as we've already been speaking about this evening. Missed opportunities. Now, is it possible to miss an opportunity? I don't think it is. And I think those opportunities, if they pass us, maybe that opportunity has actually passed us because there's another opportunity on the horizon and something's gone past. Don't think, and don't dwell on it. One thing passing can be, or one ending can be a beginning for something else. So we need to take those opportunities to develop ourselves, help others to do that to themselves as well. Opportunities for change. We can all see ways in which we can improve ourselves, the way we treat others, the way we treat ourselves, an opportunity to treat ourselves by just thinking positively. Instead of actually sort of something happens, we blame ourselves for it. Don't do that. Actually reverse that situation and use it as an opportunity to say, I've done that. In future, I will learn from that and I will improve. Opportunities for improvement. And I will keep this short and sweet. The last thing I would like to say really is this in itself, for us, for yourselves, it's an opportunity this evening. We thank Thundersley for giving us the opportunity to be online. And we also thank you all for being here with us, to give us the opportunity to help make connections for you, with you, and to help you all we can. Hopefully, you will take the opportunity this evening to connect with your loved ones, to bring them forward and help us bring that message for you. Thank you.
Just to add something to what Thor was saying, going back to when COVID unfortunately hit the country and the globe, at the time it was a frightening period for everybody, and I know that there was a lot of devastation and a lot of people lost their loved ones during that time, sadly. But for us, it gave us an opportunity to be at home. We both at the time had very busy jobs. I was working in London 5 days a week. I was commuting for 2 hours per day to get to and from work. It gave me the opportunity to work from home and to stop and to pay attention to my spiritual side. And it gave us the opportunity to join a wonderful circle, Cas Spiritual. And this has been a learning process that we've both been undertaking now for a good number of years. It's given us the opportunity to do Reiki healing and further our Reiki healing. And later this year, we're going to be doing our master level of Reiki. So sometimes, as Thor was saying, when we look at things that happen in our lives and things that are outside of our control, sometimes it does feel very negative and it does feel, like a frightening period of time. But if we can flip that and start to think about the positives that it can bring, maybe sometimes we do need to be forced to slow down and stop and to look at the bigger picture and to see what is really going on around us and what is really important to us. So I just wanted to share that with you. So I won't stop. I'll carry on with some mediumship now because I know that's what you're all looking forward to. So as Thor and I were sitting here waiting for the live to start this evening, we were aware of a gentleman stepping forward from Spirit. And I know that this gentleman is a father to somebody online. And I feel that he would have passed around the age of, I want to say sort of 60, but I say 60 plus. I don't feel this man got as far as like 67, 68. I feel that he was younger than this, around sort of 60, 63, 64, because I don't feel this man was retired when he passes. I feel that with the passing, it was a lung condition. So I feel it was a long-term condition, but towards the end and before he passed, it kind of everything seemed to quite like speed up with his passing, with his illness. So I feel this may be like asbestosis. Or like a COPD condition with the lungs. But I know that the breathing is an issue. And I feel that this gentleman would have had a cough for quite some time. He shows himself to be of a medium build, very hard-working man. And I feel he's carrying a little bit of weight around his midsection. But he's in quite good fit. He's quite fit for his age. I feel he's got quite wide shoulders, and I feel he's quite a strong man as well. So I feel like he could have lifted weight if he needed to. He tells me that he would have done something practical for his job. So I feel like he would have done carpentry or like handyman type work, because I see him driving a van. And I see there being tools around this gentleman as well. And as I connect with his energy, he's making me aware of a radio. So I feel like he would have listened to the radio while he was working. So I do feel this gentleman is a father, and I do feel that there are grandchildren with him as well, but I feel that they would have been quite young when this gentleman passed. I feel the passing would have been in the last 5 years. I don't feel he's been over much longer than that. If he's been over longer, it feels kind of newish, in a strange way, because he feels like he hasn't come forward, if at all, to who needs to hear from him. His energy kind of feels a bit nervous about coming forward. And that's maybe why I'm kind of like stuttering a little bit, because I feel he's not quite sure what he needs to say. Mm-hmm. Okay, Jenny. So this sounds like your dad would have died of lung cancer, worked in construction, passed a year and a half ago. Okay. Thor and I were getting 2 names of this gentleman. I'm not sure if they mean anything to you. We were getting the name of Malcolm, and I was also hearing the name of Tony as well. As I say, I feel like his energy is a bit kind of, he's coming through quite strong, but it's almost like he's not quite sure what to say at the moment. It's a bit kind of stilted. And I feel like in life, he would have been the type of gentleman that would have loved a chat if he knew you. If he didn't know you, it's not that he didn't have time for you, but he kind of focused his time and energy on his family, friends, and people that he knew. I hope that's making sense for you.
I do agree with you, actually. I think this chap would have been a smoker as well. Claire's mentioned the lung conditions. It's almost like a fluid I can feel on the lung. He's, with this gentleman, he's, you say, Jenny, very much a family man, a lovely, lovely gentleman, very close, very almost, well, like you say, he would have thrived with the family around him. And okay, thank you. He smoked all his life. Good. Okay, I understand now fully.
Would you understand him getting down on like a rug to play with young children, like toddler age? Because I'm seeing him with 2. I feel there are more than 2, but I'm just seeing him with 2 that are quite young. It's kind of like just before he passes, I'm seeing 2 small ones with him. And he's talking about dog walks as well. So I don't know if he would have done dog walks with you if you have a dog, but I just feel that it's something you talked about together, or whether you actually walked together. I feel this gentleman would have liked time outside in nature as well. I know that you said he worked in construction, so he would have been outside in all weathers, but I just feel that as I'm looking at his energy, he's quite tanned. And I don't want to say he looked older than his years, because I don't feel he did, but his face is weathered. And I mean that in a really, really lovely way. Like it's almost like he's got the sun on his face.
He worked outside. That's very much, I get the feeling that this gentleman worked outside. And as you actually said about handyman, I think he was very much a multitasker. He would put his hand to most things. Yeah. He would also, with regard to, he would take that home as a hobby as well. So he was very handy with his hands. He would like to make things for people.
I feel like if you needed shelves putting up, he'd be around to do it straight away.
Yeah. He's got a strong energy as well. Even though I feel with regard to the condition, with regard to the lung condition, it would have weakened him, but he still had an energy, a mental energy that everyone could almost connect onto.
He's got a very funny sense of humour, and I feel like he would have been a practical joker. It's almost like, I want to say, he's always on a wind-up, this gentleman. So it's like if you went to sit down, he would pull your chair out so that you would fall. Little sort of practical jokes like that. He's also talking to me about going over to Spain, and I feel like I need to say Mallorca, that sort of area, that over there, because it's almost like a memory link of holidays in Spain that he's talking about. And I feel like he would have been at his happiest out in the sun. and just surrounded by his loved ones. And I feel like, would there have been like a lot of barbecues that he would have hosted? Because I feel that was when he was at his best. I just feel like he would have enjoyed that. You can, anything else?
I think he was just an absolute delight to spend time with. And what I'm actually getting as well is I do feel, Jenny, that you actually feel when he's around, because he had that presence when he was on the earth plane that really almost pushed out into the room. And I do get the feeling that you still feel that day to day. There are occasions, particularly when you're on your own, and that energy comes into the room. So when you do get that energy, and spend some time, have a little chat with him. Don't be afraid to speak to him. Excellent. That's great.
Can you understand with his name being shortened? Because I feel like his name was turned into a nickname. So, say for example, if his name was Roger, he would always be called Rog. It's like the name being shortened. Can you understand that? Not quite sure what he's trying to get across here, but it's like something to do with his name. So I'm hoping that makes sense for you. He's saying that life's not been easy, and at the moment it feels like a real struggle. And he's saying to me that you keep asking out for him, and you keep kind of like this feeling of needing him to be here. And he wants to say, I'm sorry that I can't physically be there, but I'm with you very much in spirit, because I just feel like you need that support at the moment. You're still struggling with this. That it still feels very, very raw. He's also just taking me. He wants to take me to October, and I want to be drawn around to about the 10th of October. So I'm not sure if this is around for a birthday or around for his passing. I'm not seeing which one we're going with that, but just showing me 10th of October written down. So I'm hoping that makes sense for you. But just know that his energy is with you all the time, because when we lose somebody, the grief is such a raw feeling, and it's life-changing. And okay, I'm so sorry to hear about your son passing as well. I can't imagine what you've been through. But just know that Dad is with you, okay, and he's supporting you to the best of his ability from spirit.
That is the message I'm receiving from him, to be honest, that okay, you feel he was taken from you, and you weren't ready for him to go, and his message to you is that he is actually still here. As Claire said, not physically, but he is still here. He's here for support.
Always.
And when you need him, you just need to call out for him.
We'll leave his love with you. Okay. Thank you for working with us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I also had, over the evening, a gentleman has presented himself to me with the name of Malk or Mark. This gentleman, it's a pleasure, Jenny. Thank you. And this gentleman, my understanding from him is that he actually had a limb injury at a point quite early in his life, which affected him for the whole of his life. He actually passed peacefully, but there was a condition or an injury that stayed with him, a limb injury that stayed with him all his life. Now, my understanding from him also was that this was from a vehicle or from a car accident, as I'm being told, but not as in the general car accident, an accident on the road. I believe this chap would have actually worked on vehicles as well. And there was an unexpected event that actually occurred. He's presenting himself to me today because he wishes to make a connection. It's a friendship that I'm getting here, as opposed to a family member. Delightful chap. He's a little sort of saddened by wishing that he could have done more, and wishing that he could have been here longer. He passed in his late 50s, I believe. So I don't know whether anybody's able to take this gentleman. Are you able to connect with this gentleman as well?
Yeah, I just feel like he was, like you say, he was a very lively chap. And I feel like the injury that he sustained, it's almost like he would joke about that. So as I'm feeling his energy, I feel like with the legs, it was like a limp that he would have had, and he wouldn't have been able to walk like normally. There would have been like an issue with the walking, but I just feel that he would make a joke about that. It was something that he tried to overcome with his humour. And I feel like he's a very lively gentleman, but I do feel this is more, like you say, like a friend connection. Doesn't feel like a family member to me. It does feel like more like a friend connection with him. He's a very intelligent man as well, because I feel like he would have been very skilled in, I feel like I want to say doing something technical, like online, as well as what he did for a living. And I feel like his knowledge was really, really vast on many, many subjects. I feel like he took an interest in a lot of things. So hopefully somebody can take this gentleman.
Great fondness in Western movies, the old cowboy movies, and also history generally. He presents himself to me sitting almost sitting in an armchair, almost like his little throne, really. And he would have actually sat by the TV, and that's how he's presenting himself to me. Like to spot the ball.
I feel he could be a bit stubborn at times as well.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to drink as well. Not to excess, but would have liked to drink. So I'm not sure if anybody can understand this information. Sorry, we've got the dog snoring in the background. I do apologise.
Yeah.
So sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think we've got anybody able to take the connection at the moment.
No. I'm getting an April date with this gentleman as well,
Okay.
around April the 14th. And I believe that's a birthday date as well, or at least a very prominent date in his life.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Should we move
You're
on?
thinking about if
Nobody can
take
understand.
if nobody can take this gentleman, if anybody does take this gentleman, if you speak up, we will come back to him, but we will let him go for now. And hopefully, if you put word out there, it's a Malk or a Mark, and he was known as Malk, and just a general all round
Really nice gentleman.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so Deb's, you used to have pugs, so you get the snorting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think she's, I don't know why we did this, but we decided to put her bed behind us, thinking that if she was near us, she would sit and be quiet. But actually, it's backfired because she's now gone to sleep and is snoring away in the background. So sorry about that. But okay, so I do have a lady coming forward, and I feel that this lady would have passed quite young. I want to say mid-40s with this lady. I don't feel she made it as far as 50. I feel she was in her 40s when she passes. And I feel that this would have been a breast cancer condition, but that would have spread quite quickly. I feel that she spent, I want to say, around about 2 years with having chemo and treatment. And then she had a brief period of remission. And then unfortunately, everything came back and everything started to spread. And at that point, it became quite aggressive. So I feel with her illness and her passing, we're talking about 2 years in total. And I feel that the last 3 to 4 months, everything was rapid. But she did have treatment. Because I do feel there was chemotherapy there and radiotherapy for her. I feel this lady to be, I want to say, a sisterly feeling. But when I say sister, we have to remember to think outside the box when I say sister, because we can also have best friends and very close friends or cousins or neighbours or people we work with who become like sisters, like family. So she's saying to me sister. So perhaps if you were close friends rather than blood relation, that you might have called each other sister, but she just feels very, very close. Okay, Jill. So, lady, there's a few of you saying yes, you can take that. So let me give you some more information. I feel this lady, she feels to me like a curvy lady. That's how I would describe her. I feel like she's very lively as well. She has a lovely personality, and I feel that she tries to make the best of every situation. So I feel even when she was feeling at her worst and feeling ill, she would try to make a joke of it. She tried to be strong and hide her how she really felt. Because I feel like with her, she was trying to put a brave face on for everybody else around her. Where when the news came about that, you know, she was facing the end of her life, that everybody around her started to fall apart, but she didn't. She kept strong, and she was trying to support everybody else. So it's important that I get that across. I'm seeing a short name with her, so I want to say the name of like, I was about to say Tina, but then I was about to say Lisa as well. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going with the name, but I feel the name is quite short. I don't feel there's lots and lots of letters in her name. And I feel she would have been, if she wasn't a water star sign, I feel she was very sensitive as well. I'm a Piscean, so I'm very deep thinker. I'm very sensitive to what people say, and, you know, I pick up on things, nothing like that. And I feel this lady would have been the same. Very thoughtful lady. So there are a few of you that can take this. I'm just trying to get some more evidence with her, because I know that there's a few of you saying it could be mum, it could be sister, or it could be auntie. So I'm just trying to get some more evidence for, with her, just trying to kind of narrow this down. I feel that she would have driven a silver car. That's what she's showing me. And she loved driving, but she's making me laugh because she loved driving, but other people didn't quite like being in the car with her for some reason. And she's laughing and joking about this. Okay, so she's saying, oh, I wasn't the world's best driver, but I did enjoy driving. So I'm hoping that can help as well. Where are you getting with this lady? She's coming from, she's very energetic. She's very like lively and quick.
This lady, I believe this lady is actually quite religious, is the way I'm going to say it, because whilst Claire was speaking, this lady's actually, she brought a candle forward for me and a box of matches, and she's saying, light a candle for me. So I don't know whether that's something you actually do, but it's something that is definitely something she would like us to do. It may relate to the lighting of the candle this evening, but in Thundersley, but she's very much light a candle for me, and it was to the point she was actually holding them. She's quite a forceful lady. She was holding the matches, light it for me. She's, as Claire said, wonderful energy, and she did like her earrings as well. I'm seeing quite nice. They're standing out.
I feel she would have liked her makeup as well. I feel like she's very proud of her appearance, and she would always like to look nice when going out. Even if she was just going to the shop, she would have a full face of makeup, and she would have her earrings on and her jewellery, and her hair would be done nice. And I feel with her hair, I feel like the hair is a blondish colour, but I do feel like she would have coloured it. But I feel that over the years it got shorter and shorter and shorter. So it started off quite, she would have had long hair, and then it got chopped and chopped and chopped until towards the later year of her life. I feel it would have been quite a short haircut, and then with the treatments and everything, her hair would have fallen out, unfortunately. But okay, there's still a few of you saying that, and it's always nice to light a candle for our loved ones, isn't it, Chloe? So it's nice that you do that, and also sending absent healing, and this lady was quite spiritual. I hope that I'm trying to kind of narrow down the evidence with this lady, because it's got to be for somebody. But
I believe this lady was a carer herself. She did care for others.
Yes.
She's got that feeling that I was going to say that midwife, that midwife type.
It does feel like that sort of energy.
To her.
And I feel with her funeral, I feel there would have been a lot of people that would have gone to this funeral. I don't feel like it was just a quiet private affair, and I feel like she's saying she's quite surprised how many people came to say their goodbyes and pay their respects. And I feel with the passing, I feel this would have been around I want to say around May time, because I feel with the funeral the weather would have been warmer, and there would have been a lot of people outside. So I'm seeing that. So I'm seeing the sun is shining for her. And I feel like on the day that her funeral took place, everybody was relieved. You know, the sun has come out for her. She has a very sunny disposition. She's very friendly and she's very caring. And I feel like she would have been the type of person that if you needed the last pound from her purse, she would give it to you. There was no selfishness with this lady. She could be opinionated, she's telling me. She said, if I had something to say, I would get out there and say it. So that was an aspect to her personality. She could be a little bit opinionated, not in a bad way, but if you asked her opinion, you know, does my hair look nice? I've just had it cut. She was saying, it's not for me, but as long as you're happy. So
I'm still on the almost matron side of things, that she would actually, like you say, she was very to the point. And if she needed to make a point, she would make that point there and then, wouldn't hold back. And she would she's there. And Kerry could take this. So we've got a couple that
there's
of you that
still
can
a
take
few of you.
this.
We're trying to finish out, narrow it down.
Yes.
I think this lady, she was such a good friend to so many people that it's hard to pinpoint aspects of her personality, because her personality is, she could be laughing and joking with one person, and then if somebody needed advice, she would sit down and be serious with them and have a cup of tea and a slice of cake, and the serious side of her personality would come forward. So I feel like there's many facets to this lady. She is showing me a love of crystals as well. I know somebody, so I'm trying to keep up with the comments. I know somebody said that they had a lady who was spiritual, because I do feel this lady liked crystals. I don't feel she was hugely knowledgeable on crystals, like she wouldn't have known the sort of the things they were used for, but I feel that she would just be drawn to crystals, and if she liked a stone, she would buy it. So hopefully we can try and pinpoint out, but
Definitely
maybe
a small collection. She liked the sparkly ones.
If we go to the message, maybe that might give some further evidence, because as I say, her personality is so vast that there's a lot of you saying yes, that you can take bits of the message, bits of the information, and I think if we give the message, that might help whoever needs to hear it pinpoint and say, yes, I can definitely take that. I feel like the message that this person is for just needs a real big hug at the moment, and I feel this lady would have been very good at giving hugs. It's almost like she would have given you a bear hug. If you really needed her strength and her energy, she would bear hug you, and she would hold on, and you would be the first to kind of pull away from her. And she wants to say that just because I'm not in the room doesn't mean that I'm not still giving the bear hugs, because I know that you need them at the moment. And the message that she's trying to get across is listen to your head and your heart. Don't go by one or the other. It's got to be both. You've got to be drawn, because I feel like there's a decision to be made. Yes, listen to your heart, because that's going to guide you. That's your compass, where it's going to take you. But you also have to be practical and listen to your head as well, and be sensible with whatever the decision is that you're going to make. So hopefully that can help to whoever the message is.
Don't rush into that situation. Almost step out of the situation, step back, have a look at it, have a look at the
bigger picture.
Almost, I was going to say brainstorm, but almost do a list of positives and negatives, and work your way through the fors and againsts.
Yeah.
And that's very much the way this lady would have worked, and that's what she's suggesting for you.
Okay, Amanda, this may be for you. Sounds like your friend Sue.
Right,
okay. Well, hopefully that has helped some of you. If you can take that information with the description and the evidence we brought forward, and in the message.
This lady is phenomenal.
She's a really caring lady. She really is. And but just know that her energy is around you and supporting. Because just feel that whoever the message is for, you just need that kind of like lift and that hug.
Can I just say that whoever this lady is for, you will actually feel her sitting beside you, to the left of you. She literally will sit beside you, and literally just, you'd almost feel like you get that feeling there's a hand on your shoulder. And when you need her, that's what you'll feel. Okay.
Yeah, just feel her energy around. There's a lovely smell with this lady as well. It's
floral.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice like perfume that she would have worn, and it's like a perfume that she would have worn for a long time. I don't feel that she switched her perfumes around, so that scent would be familiar to you. But yeah, she's a very warm and loving lady, and she just wants to send her love across, and give you that big bear hug and for support. Okay, so we'll leave her love with you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm getting a younger gentleman now. A chap in his younger, well, I would say he's around late 20s, early 30s, I would say. Dark-haired chap, quite tall. He's given me the name of Timmy. Now, I'm not sure whether that's actually his name. But he's repetitively saying Timmy to me. I was always trying to work out in my mind whether it related to someone else or something, but it's definitely the name Timmy that he's provided me with. He's once again he's unfortunately his life was cut short, and I believe it was actually a condition with his blood. He's once again. I think this gentleman actually, he was almost one moment, and I do ask you to excuse the dog in the background here. But basically, this gentleman, it was almost like one moment he was here, and the next minute he was taken ill, and he'd gone.
Yeah, I felt that.
And
very
a
sudden passing.
large number of people. Really, I think my understanding is he was there was a lot of people with him when he actually passed, or a lot of people had actually visited him on that day. Everything happened very, very quickly. He's quite a positive lad, actually. He's basically said to me, I was taken much too early, but it was my time, and we all have our time, and it was my time to go, but I'm very much stronger and right back to myself, where I am now. I'm trying to understand the connection that he actually has here. I do wonder. My understanding is, I think once again, I don't think he's a family member. I think he's a friend. But I think there may be more than one person on here who's actually a friend to him. I do feel there's a double connection here.
I feel like I want to say Canvey Island with this gentleman as well.
Yeah.
I feel like he was quite into his fitness because his physique looks quite like he would have spent time
Good
on
set of
his
shoulders on
fitness and exercising. I feel like he would have liked running and quite into I would say like golf as well, because I feel like he would have played golf at a time in his life as well. I don't feel he was hugely passionate about the golf, but it was something that he would have done with friends as well. I do feel like this man left children behind because I'm seeing two. I want to say like a boy and a girl with this gentleman, because I feel it's been such a shock with his passing, because it was so quick and so sudden, that it's left this huge void with the people that know him, and everybody's still trying to come to terms with this, because I don't feel he's been passed that long. I want to say, okay, Dee, you think you can take this? Timmy was his little cat. Okay. Hopefully you can understand the rest of the information coming forward.
It's one of those moments you wish you'd said something ahead of time, because I was going to say I think he could have been a pet, but
yeah,
okay. It could be.
I feel this man was full of life, and I feel the people that have been left behind and who are grieving him feel like they have been robbed, because it's almost like Thor said, like 1 minute he was here, he was happy, he was healthy, he was fine, and the next minute he wasn't fine and he was taken.
He was a great helper as well. He did actually, if there was something being done, if there was a group of people getting together to do something, he would want to be there and help as well.
Okay, so you knew
no expectation of anything from it, apart from the sheer satisfaction of actually helping others.
I feel like he was quite practical as well. I feel like he would have helped people, like say, like he would have, because I see him cutting grass for people. So I don't know if that's relevant for you yourself, Dee, or people that you know of, but I feel like he wouldn't, there was no expectation for anything in return for what he would do for people. It was done because he wanted to help.
And he wouldn't wait for someone else to make a decision. If something needed to be done, he wouldn't railroad people, but he would actually guide them in a direction and actually say, well, why don't we do it this way? This would be the best way. And that was something that he was known for. You know, people had a lot of respect for the confidence he had.
I see him as a dark-haired gentleman,
Yes.
so I feel like, I want to say, as I say, he would have taken care of his physique, quite into like being outside, exercising, and And I feel like he's got dark hair, like short cropped dark hair, but like my kind of dark hair, more kind of towards black, darker hair. But I feel like he was very practical. I want to say the name of like Darren with him as well. I'm getting the name of Darren. So I don't know if that is his name or if that connects around him and you would recognise that name like around him. As I say, it just feels very much that he was taken too soon. But from his perspective, as Thor said, he's saying it was my time, and unfortunately, I couldn't do anything to change it. What happened, happened, and it's as sad as it is for everybody that is left here. He knows that there was nothing that could have been done that would have changed the outcome. So he just wants to add to that.
He's got a.
I'll call him Dale. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. He just feels very. There's like an innocence with this gentleman.
But he's a little bit cheeky.
Yeah,
he can be a little bit cheeky.
Yes, moments.
He's and the reason why I say that is because what I get is it was almost be a case like you would say something and he would come back with a response. Something I tend to say in circle is if our tutor actually says, "Can everyone hear me?" I would always say, "What?" Pardon. And that kind of thing. He always had a little word to sort of try and just do a little bit cheeky and just make people smile, so to speak. Yes.
And I feel like he would have really loved a beer. Because as I'm seeing his energy, it's like he's outside in the sunshine, and I feel like it's making me laugh because I feel like he was proud of his body, and so when you would have seen him in the summertime, it literally would have been the top would have been off, the slightest bit of sunshine, the top would be off, and he would have been round in shorts, and I just see him sitting enjoying a beer in the sun in his shorts, and that's how he wants to be remembered. Because
controlled. He was controlled. It like a couple of beers, but there would be a point. He was very sensible, this lad as well. It would be a case of I've had a couple. I'm happy. I don't need any more than that. I'm relaxed, and this is my time.
Just feel like as I say, there's like an innocence with him. He wouldn't do things for people with expectation for something in return, and I just feel he had that kind nature. And yeah, it's just wants to come forward just to say that I'm still around, and can you just let everybody know that I'm fine?
He's actually saying, take your time, slow down a bit.
I like an iced coffee.
Yeah, Claire loves iced coffee. That's why he's come. But he's basically saying to me, because he used to actually very much himself take his time. He still used to achieve the same as everybody else, but seemed to be going at 2/3 of the pace. And what he's saying to me is that you need to do the same. You need to take a deep breath. And if there's something that's frustrating you there, literally take that deep breath. Think, what would he have done? How would he have actually looked at it? And deep breath and just chill, because that's exactly how he would have been.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, we leave his love with you, and thank you for working with us, Dee.
Yes.
It's a lovely gentleman, so I know that he's missed.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm getting a song coming through. Very stressful. His mum's in hospital.
No.
Oh, sorry, your mum's in hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm so sorry to hear that. And we do send our healing energy as well for that.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I have a song that is being sung to me at the moment, which is a strange one. So I haven't had this before, but I'll give it to you anyway.
Yeah.
Bit of music.
Yeah.
The song is "The Wind Beneath My Wings," and I feel it's a gentleman coming forward, and he needs to get that the lyrics of that song across to somebody here. I feel like I need to say this to a daughter. And I feel like that song would have been important to you both. It's something that you would have sung together at one stage, and he's just bringing the lyrics forward, just to say, just remember the words to that song, that the wind beneath your wings. It's a song we sometimes sing at Fundersley, actually. It's a lovely song. Oh, Chloe, that's your favourite song.
Yeah.
It's really lovely. And Jacqueline, you can take the words for that as well. Would you understand this father being in spirit? Because as I say, I feel like it's a father coming forward, and he needs to get this across to the daughter. I feel that this man, again, he's quite young when he passes. I don't feel like I'm into sort of, I want to say like maximum age, 75, because I feel like I'm kind of just retired, but enjoying life. And then I get ill, and then unfortunately I pass to spirit. So I don't know if this song would have been played at a funeral as well, but it's just a really, really important song coming forward. Yeah, I just feel. Oh, okay. This is a song when you like when you pass. Oh, okay. It's a lovely song. It really is. The lyrics are really nice. I just feel with this gentleman, I feel it's a heart condition with him, and I don't feel there was a lot of time for goodbyes with his passing. I feel like it was all very kind of sudden. And whilst there were people with him, somebody is really, really beating themselves up that they couldn't be there and they weren't there when he passes. Because the feeling I'm getting with this gentleman is he needs to get this across, that just because you wasn't there, it doesn't matter. That time has been and it's gone, and we can't change it. And he's sorry that he couldn't hold on. So, Jacqueline, I know
he's quite a. I was going to say happy-go-lucky chap, and the reason why I'm saying that is because what he's actually said to me is not everyone can be everywhere at once. And he's got a little bit of a wry smile on his face to actually say, you know, I can get about a lot better now than I could. So I'm closer to that than many.
Okay, so there's a few of you saying you can take this information.
Yes.
Okay, because I just feel that it was very, very sudden with the passing, and I just feel, as I say, like it just completely kind of came out of the blue. Like he was fine. I do feel with him that what he's trying to say is he had felt a little bit off. Nothing that you would ever think that was going to lead on to his passing. I just feel that he'd felt a bit ill, and then all of a sudden he just the heart he's saying there's a problem with my heart. Very caring gentleman, and I feel like, again, he's very hard working for his family. I feel he's very family orientated, and his family are his world. I just feel that I just feel like he wants to come forward to just kind of settle that, because whoever this message is for, and I know there's a few of you can take the information, you're still carrying that guilt of not being there for him, like not being there when he passed. And I just feel that it's like he's saying it's time to let that go, because you need to kind of move on from what you're holding on to with
Nicola
that.
was asking how old you
Okay, so I didn't feel he was any older than 75 because I don't know whether that's because his energy feels young. So, you know, sometimes you get people who are in their sort of 80s and they're still really sprightly and they're full of energy, and you see them walking up and down and they haven't got any obvious health conditions. I feel like this man was like that. I feel that he was fit and active. I don't feel that he had problems walking or anything like that, any disabilities or anything going on physically in the body. So I feel like this is why it was such a shock when he passed, because on the outside world, to everybody, you know, he was active. So this is why it feels such a shock when he passes. Okay, and I know there's a few of you saying you can take that, but as I say, it's very difficult when we lose somebody so sudden and we can't be there, and you don't get that closure, you don't get that feeling of I've said what I need to say and I've said goodbye to you, or I've just been there for you to support you while you transition. But he's making it really, really clear that you must let go of the guilt around that, because it can eat you up, and he doesn't want that for you. You know, if he could speak to you how he's coming through with us, he would say, let go of that. It doesn't matter. That time's gone. Yeah. So he just wants to be clear about that. I feel this man loved his garden. I feel like he would have been outside on a sun lounger as soon as the sun was out. I know there's a lot of sun lovers coming through tonight. I like a bit of sunshine myself. But I just feel like he would have loved being outside on a sun lounger. And I feel like he would have been out there reading the paper, like 9 o'clock in the morning in the summer. As soon as the sun was out, that's it. He was out there with his on the sun lounger with his newspaper. And he's also shown me a pond as well with koi carp. That was his other passion. So I do see the pond in the garden with the koi carp. So hopefully somebody can understand that information. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Dee, and with your sister as well. I know you've got a lot going on at the moment. Just know that your family are around you and loving you as well, and giving you that healing. Oh, Lisa, I'm so sorry to hear that. I can't imagine how that must have been for you. Yeah, it's really sad, but
I think basically with this gentleman, what he's presenting to me is almost like he would have been the hub of the home.
Mm.
And he was a very, very loving man.
Okay.
He's, I thought it was.
Yeah, okay. Judy,
Yeah.
you can understand that your dad would have loved the son and had a
Yeah.
huge bond in the courtyard.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you understand him to have loved just kind of old? He's telling me that he's old school. That's his words. He said, I'm old school. I loved watching TV on a Saturday night. I loved all my programs. Loved watching Only Fools and Horses on the TV. And what's that darts one? Bullseye.
Oh, Bullseye.
Yeah. He loved all those sort of shows.
Mm.
And he's saying that he's proud of his roots. I feel like there's like he's very proud of the fact that he's from Essex, and he's basically saying, "Take me as you find me." He didn't put on airs and graces for anybody. There was none of this posh accent. If he if he felt he needed to, he was, you know, I am who I am. Take me as you find me.
Can I just say something he's just showed me? And I remember back in the good old days when I used to do this. Is I can see him making something out of matchsticks, and they used to stick matchsticks together. And he's basically saying to me that this is very much his nature, very patient. He would take his time with things, and he would work at it, and he would really work hard with that, and made some absolutely amazing little things that what he's saying to me, they're actually still there. That someone's still got
got the
these.
matchstick
Yeah.
models.
Yeah. So,
Okay, there's a few of you.
yes.
I do feel like we are with Judy with this gentleman, but do please listen to the evidence and the information, because sometimes they come. It's like the spirit, they kind of piggyback, because there's so many of you who would love to have a message from your loved one. If we get like people who are similar, they kind of piggyback onto that and say, oh, I would have loved Only Fools and Horses, or I would have loved making like Airfix models as well as matchsticks. So do still listen to the evidence and the message, because sometimes you can take the message as well as somebody else. So yeah, I just feel with him. He wants to say, if we could sit down together and have a cup of tea, the things we would talk about. And I feel like that is what you miss the most about him, that you don't get that opportunity just to pick up the phone and call him, or just to sit with him across a table and have that cup of tea and the chat. I feel like your dad was the type of man that he was very, very supportive of your ideas. So he said sometimes there was method in the madness, because I think sometimes the things that you would like to do, or say, Dad, I've come up with this, I'm going to do this, secretly you'd think, oh, she's a bit mad, but okay, and he'd be supportive. So because he said some of your ideas have not been favourable, so I'm not sure what he means by that, but
he says there were times that he was impressed.
But he means it
because
in a
he
fun
had that
way.
feeling, and even though he was in two minds about things, it was basically, it would be a case of okay, it worked.
Yeah.
I'll leave her to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he says your choice in partners has sometimes been questionable, but you got there in the end. So hopefully that makes sense to you as well. So I think some of the partners you might have brought home, you might have thought, okay, fair enough. So, but he just wants to bring his love forward. He said, don't forget the love. The physical distance is there, because obviously I'm in spirit and you're in the earth plane, but the love has never gone anywhere. It's still there. It's very much around. So just because when somebody passes to spirit, we don't lose them. They're not gone forever. They are still very much around, and he wants to make that clear that that you're still around. But he's still around. But he's saying that he sees the tears. So when you're on your own, that's when it comes, the tears are coming. And he said, I know that you're still suffering, and I just want you to know that my love is with you.
Frustration that I'm actually feeling from you, not from him. And he's actually just speak to him. He's there. He's there. He understands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's so much love for all of you, and I know you're just saying with your mum as well.
Yeah.
And for you, of course, as well, because as I say, when our loved ones pass to spirit, it's life-changing for us. It really is, because our lives are never the same, because we miss their physical presence all of the time. And grief is such a journey of it's raw pain, it's anger, it's frustration. There's so many different feelings with the journey of grief. But know that, as I say, the love that comes that is with you both is never gone. It's always there. And as I say, spirit is always around us all the time, holding us up. And when you need that hug and that strength, you just know. Do you sometimes smell his aftershave around as well? Because I feel like with this gentleman, he would have loved to smell nice. He's got a real strong... I can't pinpoint the aftershave. I'm not great with men's aftershaves, I've got to be honest. But it's kind of like an old-fashioned scent. I don't want to say like Old Spice or anything like that, but
I was going to say like karate. I'm
know
showing my age now.
It's like a kind of, I want to say, a classic aftershave scent that he's bringing through. And I just feel, it's Jackie Old Spice. I just feel that when you catch a whiff of that smell, and it may even only be for a second, that you know that is your dad with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we leave his love with you, but do feel his love. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah. Oh, brew. Okay. I love that smell.
Brew 33.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we've got to do a very short one, just because I think we're almost out of time. But I'm just trying to think. Okay, I have got a grandmother coming forward, and I just feel that she wants to pop in just to say hello to you. I'm not quite sure who I'm with yet and where I'm going, but I just feel this lady, she would have been over the age of 80 when she passes. I feel she's quite a petite lady. She's quite small, and she would have shrank down. So as she got older, her height would have come down a bit. I know that's normal for quite a lot of people, but
it was noticeable.
But it was noticeable.
Yeah.
There was a height difference, because I just feel like she kind of shrank in size and in height and stature as well. She feels like, to me, what a lovely lady, her energy. She feels like, you know, that old saying, salt of the earth. And I feel like she would have been salt of the earth, this lady. I do feel there is an East End connection with her, going back in the family. So I'm aware that she wants to take me to the East End. And I feel like that's where she would have been born and raised. And then she moved to Essex. She feels very much like the heart of the family. And she's talking about her daughters and then the grandchildren as well. I just feel with her, she just wants to come forward and say, I haven't got a lot of time because I know we're running out of time, unfortunately, but she's just saying, I want to come through. I need to let you know that I love you. And I feel like you would have called her Nan, not like Gran or Granny, it's Nan. And I feel like it's almost like a name for her as well. I don't feel like you kind of ever called her by her name, like she was known to everybody as Nan. So I don't know if the name Nancy is relevant, but it just feels like her name, she would have been called Nan by a lot of people, not just the grandchildren. She showed me like a bungalow that she would have lived in, and I feel it would be near to the sea with this lady, or she would have had a love of the sea, and that's something that she would have enjoyed visiting when she could. I just feel as say, I want to be taken to the seaside. Okay, used to call her Nanny Alice.
I'm getting thimbles with this lady.
Yeah, I feel she was very practical.
She was very practical with needle and thread.
Yeah.
And basically because it's that's interesting.
Oh, she had a friend called Nancy
as well. And the very interesting thing about it is I'm seeing similarities with my Nan that was and she was an Alice as well.
Oh, okay.
So
there's another lady saying Celia saying it could be a grandma. Okay, do you know, I'm not sure if you know this. The Only Way is Essex. There was a grandmother on that programme for life now. I can't remember. Nanny Pat. Nanny Pat. This lady very much reminds me of Nanny Pat. She's very practical. She's very much family orientated.
She's there a lot.
Yes, and you would have spent a lot of time with her. I couldn't remember her name, Nanny Pat.
Yeah.
So I just feel like this lady, you would have spent a lot of time with her. As I say, she reminds me very much of Nanny Pat because of her height and her figure and her stature. Very strong lady, because I feel like she had to go through a lot in life. I feel like life threw her a lot of challenges, and I feel that her husband would have passed before her. So Chloe, you can understand this Nanny Pat. You can understand the likeness of Nanny Pat from The Only Way is Essex. Yeah. Okay, great. I just feel with her, she's very much here. She's it's almost like she's not making a joke of the fact that she's in spirit, but I feel like she would have believed in the spirit world and that we do go on when we pass. And I feel like it's almost like she's joking with you. I don't know if you had conversations before she passed, but it's like she's saying, well, I'm here now and it's absolutely fine. It's like how we thought it was going to be. That's what she's trying to get across. So, oh my goodness, she lost 4 children in a gas leak. Oh, that's so tragic. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, I can't imagine how this lady coped and dealt with that. Absolutely dreadful. She just comes forward as she's, as I say, very strong lady. Like if
She's got that wartime strength.
Yes, very much a wartime strength. She would have just got on with life. And I feel with her, she would have struggled in private. Her tears would be in private, but to everybody else, she held the family together. And I feel like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. I just feel like when that happened, she kept everybody else going when really she was the one needing support. And yes, of course, everybody supported her, but she would put on this brave front of saying, no, I'm fine, I'm okay.
Getting an accent here. She basically said to me, you soldier on, don't you?
Mm.
And that's exactly the words that she's just put to me.
Yeah. I feel this lady, she would have worn gold necklaces and gold. I don't feel there's silver. I feel it's gold with her jewellery. And I do feel like this has been passed down. And I want to say, you know, the lockets, the open and you have photos. And I feel like I want to open this locket and I feel like there's a black and white photograph of a gentleman in there. And would you have understood her to have a brother that would have gone off in the wartime as well? Because I just feel like I don't know if this gentleman was in the Navy, but I just feel like they were very proud of him. Like the family at that time were very proud of him for going off. Just a lovely lady. She really is. And she's saying, be strong. I don't know what is going on around you at the moment. She's just saying, be strong. Keep your thoughts to yourself. Don't tell everybody what you're up to. And don't tell everybody your ideas either. Now, that's not in a negative way. It's really not. But I feel with your nan, she could be quite private about certain things. And I feel like she wants you to do the same thing. Not because there's nothing that you can't tell people. Of course you can. But I think she's just saying, don't tell everybody your ideas, because the next thing you know, somebody will have done the same thing that you wanted to do. So I don't know whether this is in relation to, I don't know, if, like, for example, like decorating, say you want to do, you know, whatever colours you want to do, and you tell a friend, and then in the next breath, they've gone and done that. And they're kind of stealing your thunder a little bit.
There is a friend present that I think that is almost a directed message, really. I believe you do have a friend present who would actually copy, a bit of a copycat. In a nice way.
Yeah. In a nice way. It's because
and not in a negative way and that's the other thing she's putting to me as well, is that she's actually saying that's not to undercut you or anything. It's just this particular individual hasn't got a great number of ideas themselves, and you say things like, oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
And they get in there first. Not intentionally.
Yeah.
But don't be undercut by that, and don't feel uncomfortable about that.
Your nan's saying she's a lovely friend, but she looks up to you, this friend, and not in a jealous way. There's not that. It's just that you get some really good ideas and you share them, and then she thinks, well, that's a really good idea. I wouldn't have thought of that myself. I'm going to go and do that myself.
Yeah.
So she's just saying, just be conscious of that, and just kind of keep you to you for now, if you get that.
Don't tell too many people. Don't tell people you don't know well.
Your ideas.
Yeah. That's where she is.
Yeah. And she's saying, stop cleaning so much. That's a really nice thing, isn't it? Stop cleaning so much. What an odd message. But she's saying, do you know, it's going to make you're going to laugh now. Okay, I am a massive Mrs. Hinch fan. I love her products. I love her books. I love following her on Instagram, and I think she's done amazing. So I'm a huge Mrs. Hinch fan. But she's saying, you're the same, but you're constantly cleaning. She said, calm down on the cleaning products, which is a really funny thing to say. But I feel like Nan would have been into her cleaning as well. And I feel like that's something you would have done together when you were young. It's almost like she taught you how to clean things, which is strange, but like she would have shown you how to clean silver and things like that. It's just like a memory link that she's showing, but she's just saying, save your money, stop buying all these chemicals and products, and
don't forget the old ways.
Oh, you're preparing for your little one. Oh, exciting.
Yeah, she's saying don't forget the old ways.
The simple things like white vinegar and things like that.
Sometimes the simplest methods are the best. And she says that with a lovely smile as well.
Yeah. But she's saying just calm down a little bit on the cleaning. And you've got a lot of things to look forward to if your little boy arriving in June. But we leave Nan's love with you. Know that she's around you very much. This lady is such a light. She's so energetic. She really is. And she's very much like Nanny Pat, just full of love and positivity. So, yeah, we leave her love with you. Thank you for working with us this evening.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
okay.
I don't know if we've got Frank's cards next. We're going to hand you over for Frank's cards. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yes.
Lovely to see
Thank you for your time, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you both. We do have Frank's cards coming up, but we'll come back to you for a closing prayer if that's all right. Fantastic. All right, friends. Well, great to have you with us tonight. Big thank you to Claire and Thor for tonight's messages and the address earlier. Lovely evening so far. Well, as our regulars will know, we can't get round to everyone in the evening, unfortunately, even though we've got 2 mediums tonight and 2 in church, so many more than we normally do. But for that reason, Frank from our church draws 3 animal cards each week, and here's an uplifting message for the week ahead. So let's see what Frank has for us this week.
Good evening. Our first crystal tonight is the rose quartz, and with that goes the card for the calico cat. The calico cat is about unexpected resources, assistance, advice, a happy change in your career, or a project that is sure to succeed. Sometimes a windfall of abundance just seems to drop from the sky without any warning. This prosperity might come in the form of money or a helping hand to complete a project, or meeting someone influential who can open doors for you, or maybe just receiving great advice. Calico cats also indicate a new job or promotion, a business venture maybe that will go well, or profitable investments. Calicos are a sign of good luck, perhaps because of their rarity. Akin to 4-leaf clover, in fact, they are sometimes referred to as the money cat. Have you ever seen those little cat figurines that wave their paw at you? They are called the beckoning cat, and are modelled on the calicos that originally came from Japan. And these models are placed in the doorways of homes and businesses to welcome you in, invite you into their life, and see you grow. And our second crystal is the amethyst. With that goes the card for the rescue dog. This dog is all about success, happiness, attention from others, and recognition of your accomplishments. There is so much joy and happiness in this card, and it says you've done an amazing job and you deserve all the attention you are now receiving. You may be chosen for an award, or you might find yourself in a situation where you are being picked out of the crowd and given a well-earned accolade. Don't be shy or fearful about the notice you're getting now. Let the world see the wonderful gifts you have to offer. This is a card denoting great success and victory. Rescue dogs are representative of triumph over adversity. They are a symbol of hope for the future and a letting go of the past. There is nothing that fills your heart quite like bringing home a sweet canine soul and seeing their joy and gratitude and the love in their eyes when you do so. You have proclaimed them the one to be in your life, and there is nothing better or greater reward to your rescue dog. And this is just what he wants and nothing more. And our third crystal is the citrine, and with that goes the card for the Gypsy Vayner horse. The Gypsy Vayner horse is a symbol of very successful times and excellent prospects. It says everything is going to turn out perfectly. You just couldn't ask for more. Projects will be a success, and exciting new opportunities are now possible. You may have the chance to work for an outstanding person, or alternatively, it may be a time to consider retiring. Use money and other resources that come your way wisely by investing or saving. Above all, make sure that you stand up for what you know is right and what you believe in. The Gypsy Vayner symbolises a person who is compassionate but accomplished, charismatic but grounded. He's a businessman who also cares deeply for his causes. Often the matter he's passionate about relates to the environment or animals. For that reason, frequently he is vegetarian. He probably also has the people he needs most on speed dial so that he can get hold of them easily. Gypsy Vayner horses are known for their beauty, sweetness and strength. As one of the smallest of the draft horse breeds, they represent the ability to accomplish your mission no matter what. Our horse here is a Palomino, a horse with a light golden coat, because the person represented by this card has a heart of gold and attracts riches and abundance. Likewise, you are currently in a time of great prosperity. Use the blessings that heaven is sending your way to do great things for our planet and the people who are less fortunate than you. 3 good cards there, all very much about a great future ahead of you and good prospects. Thank you for listening.
Lovely. Thank you, Frank. All right, friends, let's bring tonight's service to a close then. We'll go back to Claire and Thor for a closing prayer, and then I'll play out the closing Vesper as we usually do. Thank you both.
Lovely cards there from Frank this evening. Thank you very much for joining us. If you'd like to join me in prayer now, please. Divine Spirit, thank you for stepping forward this evening to thin the veil between the two worlds, to bring forward messages of love, comfort and hope to those who needed to hear from their loved ones this evening. And we hope that the message within the message will spread to all. We hope that any healing, that energy that was created here this evening, be spread across the globe, not just to the human world, but to the animal kingdom as well and those in need. We ask that you may cast a cloak of protection across everybody here this evening, our homes, our families and loved ones. Thank you, with love and light. Amen.
Well, a big thanks again to Claire and Thor for tonight's service. Really appreciate you being with us tonight and those lovely messages. Thank you to our mediums in church tonight. That was Wendy and Katie in church. Hope you had a good evening there. Thank you to Donna for chairing in church tonight. Thank you to Peter for the Bible reading. And thank you to Frank for the cards at the end as usual. Thank you all for joining us online and watching tonight. I hope you have a great week ahead and hope you can join us next Sunday at the same time, 6:30. But till then, good night and take care.